everyone, and we are live on Facebook. We're live over here. I hope you guys can all hear me really well. The vision on this is not as good. I don't know why. This is my laptop, this is my iPad, and this is my phone, and it seems like you people on my phone get the best version. Let me just end that one. Bear with me, people. Kelly's just jumped on. Hello, darling. It's good to see you. We just got to go to the other page here. Diane McKendrick. There we go. And we are going live. Perfect. So you guys can't see me that well. You guys can see me really well, but most of you are going to be jumping on this page. So if you're watching this now, obviously jump in and say hi. If you're watching it later, jump on and say #replay and let me know where you're watching from. I always love to see where everybody is flying in from. And yeah, really beautiful to see you all on here, whether it's now or a little bit later. I hope to be able to add some really epic content that you can take away and make your own and really start to create the life that you deserve and that you desire. So it's really interesting topic today. I jump on every Monday at 1:30-ish to talk to you about the questions that I get asked through the week. So many people are coming to me with frequently asked questions, and my brain always goes to, how can I help more people? How can we go out on a grander scale and help people? The one-to-ones I love, but how can we help more people? How can we do this together? How can I tweak and change and adapt and grow what I'm currently doing as a one-on-one to more people and more people and more people? And in saying that, you're all about to see a post from an amazing, a beautiful lady called Kelly, who I met, hello, I know you're watching, at the community coffee up at Chapters. We meet every Thursday at 10:30-ish. And Kelly felt really drawn to come and spend some time with us, and we've had a couple of coffees now, and it's been really beautiful to watch her journey. And she's opened up, she's decided to work with me one-on-one. She's got her post coming up very soon, and I really invite you to give her so much support. She's starting working with me one-on-one and just made massive changes already. Had her first one-on-one today, and we went through the real basics of changing your life. And as I was working with her, it sort of landed for me that there's so many of you out there that want this content and want this information, and you're getting it from the lives and the YouTube channel. But it's really my duty and my calling now to get it set up. Hello, sister. Get it set up so more of you can do it together. So Kelly's just started a 6-week program with me, and it's taking her through everything you hear me talk about on the lives on a deeper level. So Kelly's going to put a post up, and I invite you to really encourage her and really support her on the journey and join her if that feels good to you. We've got, firstly, we're looking at the morning gratitude and the morning routine. That first 30 minutes when you get out of bed, what you're doing, how you're feeling, how you're moving, what you're thinking, and that sets your state for the day. So we went through that with her. I didn't give her any options. I said, this is what you eat and this is when. And she's committed to doing it for the next couple of weeks so she can feel the vibration lift, so she can feel her body start to become strong. So you're all going to be on your journey, and I really invite you to follow Kelly. Just say hey in here so everybody can see your name. And she's a local lady that lives here at Carolee, and she's going, when I'm not available, to do the coffee catch-ups up at Chapters. Hopefully Kelly's always there. She's going to take ownership of taking the photo for us and sending it through, because that's the tradition, and we need someone to take action and be like, yes, I've got this, I'm going to do it. So good on you, Kelly. Thank you for putting your hand up and saying, I'm going to do this. I'm going to show up as the best version of myself, and being committed to the cause and committed to making an impact in your life, and therefore your partner's life and your kids' life and all the other mums around at school. Because it kind of is scary sometimes when you decide to embark on a journey of personal development. I was talking to beautiful Trishy this morning. She came and chatted to me while I worked out at Ipswich Health and Performance Centre, and the feedback she gave me was, the first time that I saw you speak and I went to your event, she said, I was really called to working with you, but the brain got involved and was like, she knows what doing, she's good, she is not going to let me hide. And there was somewhere in that she'd convinced herself that it was scary. I don't know if she didn't use the terminology scary, but she said, I just knew you'd call me on my bullshit, and I knew that you would make me show up and do do the work with love, and she said there was just a part of me that wasn't ready to go there. So we wanted to share that story with other people, because if you're sitting on the fence and you're feeling a call to this type of work, a call to this type of lifestyle, then there is going to be a little bit of fear there, and it comes from your tummy and it comes from your heart, and then you can just do it anyway and feel amazing and wake up feeling activated and energized almost every morning. I always say almost, because it's not every single morning. And I'm going to give you all the little tips and tricks on these Monday lives. They've been really helpful. I've got so much feedback from them. I'm getting so much more content of people coming in and saying, I want to know this. How do you do this? And the thing that came up for me this week, because as you all know, we've had such a massive, probably past 38, 39 years really. No, just kidding. Past 4 weeks I've been away. So I had the 4-day yoga retreat with my beautiful sister on Pumpkin Island. You might remember the most amazing photos of us doing yoga. Like, we did it twice a day. It was full plant-based. It was on this little island out in the middle of the Great Barrier Reef. So we were shipped over there. There was, I think, 18 of us, and it literally was us and nature and the beach and yoga and plant-based foods and massages for 4 days. Came home for a few days in between, and then jet set it off straight to Tony Robbins, which was absolutely amazing. Tony Robbins, incredible 4 days. And I was so lucky. I remember putting a post up earlier that last year, so this time last year, I snuck into the back. I'd gone with a friend, but she sat somewhere different, and I snuck in and I tried to hide. And this year round, I was in the front. I was on the screen all the time. Everybody knew me. I had several friends and clients there, which was really cool. Hey Nats, hey Ariana, Ben, Kayla, Kelly, Michelle, Sally, everybody's jumping on. So I was at Tony Robbins, totally owning it. Had friends, clients, followers all in the stands with me, and there with another group of people and a really good friend and my mentor, and there was probably 50 of us all there together, and everybody knew who I was. And as I was walking out of the stadium on the last night, Francesca called to see if I wanted to go out for dinner, and I was on the phone and I was like all flustered, because I was like, I just can't get out. Every couple of steps people keep stopping me and saying, oh, you were the girl on the screen, and I've seen your dancing. If you've anyone seen my dancing, it's not pretty, but it's very energetic, and I did that 4 days straight. Tony will have you going from pretty much lunchtime right through 11, 12, 1 o'clock until he's finished with you. You keep going, and it's the full scramble, and then deep down into the work. So the next one is At Date with Destiny. If anyone wants to come to that, that is in May at the Gold Coast, and then UPW, Unleash the Power Within, again next year. And that is always at Sydney. So let me know if you want to come to that. The more the merrier, I say. But let's get on to the topic of today. So one of the questions I was getting asked the most, because I went to Tony and I put this blog up, I put a photo up of behind the scenes. If you're not a member of my Rise Up, it's called Rise and Shine Meetup. You want to jump over to that Rise and Shine Meetup and like yourself or invite yourself or get yourself on that page. And on the header, we have every day has a hashtag, and one of the hashtags was behind the scenes, because I always like people to know, my friends, my family, my followers. You see me up on stage, you see me online, you see me out and about accomplishing amazing things, publishing books. I've got my card deck coming out. The card is on here somewhere. Got my card deck coming out. It's getting so much closer. Hello, Kev Head from Coffee Club. Michelle's on too. I haven't seen you for so long. But yeah, this woman here is the same as this woman here. Kev, I'm just telling everyone, published my first book. Got the pixie deck of cards coming out. The ring, Michelle channeled this. That's Michelle's intuitive design and charming creation of, so this is Remember Ring, and this is Charming Creation Charm Necklace. So the reason I'm telling you all that is the blog post came out, and it was me, Eric, and Francesca with bags and bags and bags. There was probably like 11 bags and 3 people and we had to fit it all into the Uber. And so I was saying, you see us on stage, you see us online, you see us doing and accomplishing these amazing things, but quite often what goes on behind the scenes, the sacrifice, the commitment, the showing up, isn't always recognized and seen by everybody else. And then guess what? What can happen is people get a bit judgy. And a few people have come to me with this recently and been like, I judged you so hard, so bad. I looked at your life and your lifestyle and what you've done and how you show up, just thinking, what a bitch, man. Like, this bitch thinks she knows everything. And then they've come to me, a couple of people now, and go, I've realized that's my stuff or their stuff, not yours. So if I trigger you, That's okay, but you just got to remember that I'm doing this to help people, and when you've got a trigger, it means there's some work to be done. So it's really good to get that feedback from people, because it touched my heart, and the people that have come to me and said, I feel your depth, I feel your commitment to impact in the world, are the ones that have seen me speak in person. Same thing happened to Tony Robbins. So my sister, I went and it changed my life, and I went back to Michelle and said, you have to come and see this man with me, and she's like, no, it's all rah, rah, rah. I'm not interested in it. I'm not called to work with him. And I was like, yep, that's fine. But yeah, similar to me, like if you haven't been there and felt it, it's really hard to get that understanding and depth of what we do and why. Yeah, so a couple of people come up to me recently and been like, I've seen you speak and I felt the depth and I felt the impact, and it's absolutely amazing. You've changed my life. I've been able to take this home and change other people's lives. So I just want to say to the entrepreneurs out there, or just the mamas, the dadders, the parents, anybody that's out there that wants a bit more than what you got, the 9 to 5, you're going to get judged. And I'm going to do another live on that because it seems to be quite prevalent in this society. Just how we can protect ourselves from that, how we can really see the other people in the light and not make them bad or wrong for having their perception of what we're doing or saying. It's just like this big circle that comes about, and sometimes I'll be the coach for you and sometimes I won't, and that's totally fine as well. But that's why I decided to do this, because I felt like a few people have come to me and I want you to know what goes on behind the scenes. It's not all unicorns and rainbows, as some of the Insta people will have you know, and all the picture perfect photos. I think you all get a really good solid depth and understanding of who I am, because I don't go and make sure I've got a fresh face of makeup or even do my hair before I jump on lives, because it doesn't matter. It's the content that matters to me. It's showing up that matters to me. It's like, what have I got that I can give you that can change your life, whether it's at the top of my funnel, in the free stuff, in the middle of my funnel, at all my workshops, or deep down into the depths of a lightness and darkness at the same time at the retreats. So it's super cool. You're going to just sort of fit in wherever works for you right now, and if it's not me, then find yourself another coach. Coaches can see things that you can't see, and it can really catapult your success. It can really catapult so much in your life. So in saying all that, we need to see what's going on, or have some sort of understanding what's going on from people behind the scenes. It's really easy just to see what you see and judge it. So I put this post up. We were there with several bags trying to get it into the Uber, and it basically just said, this is what happens behind the scenes. We had several bags. We were in the street. We were trying to get them into the Uber. We did the PowerPoint in the taxi. We got to the hotel with literally about 12 minutes to check in, get our bags up, get our computers set up, and get onto a weekly Zoom call. And that was only a slither of that 4 or 5, I think it was 6 days of what was happening and how we operate, because I'm on national tour at the moment. So I'm on this national tour, and when I'm away, I realized that I have this innate ability to fit so much in. And the question was coming up, how do you do that? How do you not get exhausted? How do you not get tired when you're just like boom, 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 boom? And the same thing happens here. I get up in the morning, have a really solid morning routine, and then, for example, today I am pretty much fully booked right up till 9 o'clock tonight, and another full day tomorrow. But I'll wake up 5 o'clock. Even if I think I'm tired, I change my thought processes and I go into another dimension, and I just choose to do what I want to do in that day. So there's a couple of key components and key things that I do to have this much energy and to be able to accomplish and achieve the things I do and the amount I do. And I wanted to share those with you today on the live. So the first thing you need to do, like, you've got to understand, and I did this for years, that rush and overwhelm is the absolute kryptonite of success and accomplishment. If you are feeling rushed and overwhelmed because you've put timelines on things, that will chew through your energy like no one's business. So what I've realized is, one, rush and overwhelm is a state of mind, and we can change that. So the questioning I go into when I've got things back to back is, what am I doing right now? What needs my attention right now? If I am in my truth and presence and focused in this moment, I can't be in rush and overwhelm, because I'm not going into the future with what I've got on, and then I can't go into guilt and resentment of the past, of that phone call or that conversation or that person that wants this from me and I can't provide it for them right now. I can't think about any of that, and I can't think about that. So I'm going to say it again. Kryptonite, rush and overwhelm is the kryptonite, the killer of success and productivity. if you are feeling rushed and overwhelmed and getting into that state. And guess what? For a long time, I didn't realize it. I was addicted to it. I didn't think I was being successful unless I was feeling rushed and overwhelmed and put upon. So I actually created some anchors and triggers within that were very unhealthy patterns, and it leads to burnout. So what I need you to know is be aware of your state, master your state. For me, like rush and overwhelm look different to different people. So for me, it looks like I get a certain look on my face, I clench my jaw, I speak in a certain tone to my husband and my kids, and I move a certain way really fast. And I used to get some really bad back issues, and I realized those back issues started to come on when I would rush. And I had this moment of, the light shines in and it's like, oh my gosh, my back issue is the rushing stuff. It's the kryptonite. And I still catch myself. Like I said, I was addicted to it. I didn't think I was being successful unless I was rushed, unless I was overwhelmed, unless I was running from pillar to post and just my breath gets short. That was another indication for myself. If I'm going into rush and overwhelm, I breathe from the top of my chest instead of deep down in my stomach. So it's mastering your emotions. It's knowing that you have this here, this here, this here, and this here, and it's all like condensed. And mastering the emotion and just staying away, choosing presence over rush and overwhelm. The other thing on how I manage to get so much accomplished is that I make every single minute count. So this is just something I've realized recently. I set a timer now for me to work, because I used to get into the vortex. Does anybody else find this? Get into the vortex of Facebook, and round you go, 3 hours later, you're still just commenting on stuff and nothing's actually been productive. Yes, you've made heaps of connections, had other people feel good, but there's this vortex, there's 3 hours of your life gone and you didn't actually even accomplish anything. So what I've done is I set times. Francesca taught me this. You set a shorter amount of time than what you will think. And literally right up to the minute, you do what you say you were going to do and nothing else. Michelle, if you're still watching this, you'll be so surprised because I was the total opposite. You do nothing else for that 8 minutes, for that 10 minutes, for that 11 minutes, for that 12 minutes. Every time I sit down, I say, okay, here's an example. I was fully booked yesterday. Saturday, 2 kids, 2 planes, 2 airports, just me. So I had to practice all this stuff. I got in Saturday night, I woke up early Sunday morning, and I had 2 events yesterday and it was full. I got home last night, and what used to have happened is I would come in because I've got 156 messages to reply to, guys, because I hadn't checked my phone when I was present with the people. I did my blogging in the car. I got home after driving an hour and a half. Hello, Trishy. I just spoke of you earlier. You just missed it. So I got home and it was late. I think it was 7:30, 8 o'clock. And what I usually would have done is come in here, barely spoken to Gus. I've got rush, overwhelm, addicted to it. I've got to get back to all these people. And you know what? It's magic. I did a live the other day, yesterday morning it was, on you creating time. So I sat in the car and I thought, what's going to be most resourceful to me right now? And I sat in the car and I allocated 15 minutes. Dan, I just saw you jump on. And in one of the messages I said to you guys, I've allocated myself 15 minutes before I go inside and my phone goes away until I do the good nights, the connection with Gus, the dinner, the apple cider, not apple cider vinegar, apple cider. We had an apple cider. That was pretty cool. Don't tell my trainer. Just kidding. I'll tell him. Apparently I dropped 2 kilos in the week, so now it's a buff stage. So anyway, I sat in the car, and within that 15 minutes, I replied to everything I needed to reply to. But if I had have let myself go, I got 156 and gone into overwhelm in that vibration, I would have come in and my night would have been very different. So I felt so fulfilled. I had an amazing day with amazing people. I met so many cool people. I come back, I allocated 15 minutes in the car. I come in, I put my phone away. I did the family thing and I was present and I was focused. And then they all went to bed and I said to Gus, these are the 3 things that I've got to do tonight. It was a bit of eat the frog. I didn't want to do these things because I'm growing and learning and really like catapulting out of my comfort zone at the moment. Does anyone else have that? They have these jobs and they linger and linger and linger and linger. So I just said to Gus, hold me accountable before I go to bed tonight. I've got to do 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to sit down at this time. So it's holding yourself accountable to the time. And then I allocated myself 30 minutes. The old me, guys, would have sat in here until midnight, fluffing around, trying to get stuff done, but not being successful about it. And it's big stuff, guys. Like, I have the second edition of my book coming out. You can see the first edition here. So I've sold out of these, basically 500 copies within the year. The second edition's arriving soon, and I had to have that all updated. There's a handful of other jobs. I sat down, I allocated, it was 30 or 45 minutes after my 15 minutes in the car, and I got it all done. If I had have been in my head, because the other thing that I was addicted to was things taking a lot of time, I recognized my language in my head, and before I even realized, I was making things harder for myself. And we all do this, and I probably still do it, but now I recognize it and I'm aware of it. Anything on the computer, I had fully conditioned myself that it was going to be hard and I wasn't going to know what to do. This wasn't sitting at the top of my brain, it was deep in my subconscious because of the past and because of my past experience with computers. I created a belief that things were hard and took a long time. So I caught myself saying that, and I'm like, I can't run $1 million empire by thinking and feeling like this. I have to master social media. I have to master my emotions. I have to master being able to get on the computer and not going into flight or fright. And when we set those time limits, you literally will get so much more done because it's direct, it's focused, you're not doing 6 things at once. Multitasking is different to habit stacking. And I'm going to talk about that in a minute. Guys, give me some love. If you are loving this content and it's changing your life, send me some love. We have Lazi's on. Hello, beautiful. Dan's jumped on, Matthew's on. Awesome. Good to see you all on here. So habit stacking, actually, let me finish off on the time thing. So what I realized is what an enormous amount of content and work I can get done in 2 minutes. Whether it's just doing, if you time it, someone told me this years and years ago, if you think unstacking the dishwasher and making the lunches just takes all morning, right? If you're a mama or a parent, it feels like it takes all morning. But if you actually time it and you've got some really solid routines, I did it once. I was thinking, oh yeah, it takes half the morning to get all that done. And I timed, and it literally was 6 minutes to empty the dishwasher. The lunches as well were probably 10 minutes, but I had this in my head. It made it so much harder than it needed to be because of the subconscious belief of the amount of time and effort and energy it took. When I just took the facts into it, that it literally took me 12 minutes to do that, I was like, boom, 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 done. So now I've transferred that over to my business life, and honestly, the enormous amount of work you can get done in 2 minutes or even 1 minute. I've been traveling with Francesca on national tour, and we both together, if we commit to that very time, and I've never been really structured with time, but now I use it as a vehicle for progression. I find it, if we are committed, our head down, our bum up, and we are 100% committed, 100% focused to the job and the task at hand until that timer goes off or it goes off in your head. The next thing you need to do is be really disciplined, so intensely disciplined. If you set yourself a timeline and a time limit. So in the morning, I allow myself 15 minutes to update all my pages, to share on other pages. First thing in the morning, because I used to sit there for 2 hours, right? That was my morning routine. It's really important. I've got to get out there and I've got to show myself and I've got to add content. And it was stressful. It was becoming a chore. It was affecting my family life because I was like this first thing in the morning. And honestly, this is something I've just changed recently. So really honor your journey, honor your progress, take this and implement where you can. So I was head down, bum up. I thought I was being really successful and accomplished and adding value and all that kind of crap, but I wasn't being true to myself because my mornings are sacred to me. I want to spend time with the family. So now I allocate myself 15 minutes. I get on there and I do all the stuff. If I've only got 1 or 2, if I say 15 minutes, because this is the other thing I used to do. Does anyone do this? Don't make me go out on a limb here and tell me you don't do it. All right, I'm going to set some really clear boundaries. I'm going to give myself 15 minutes here. 15 minutes rolls round, neck minute. 16 minutes rolls round, I'll just do this one more thing. 17 minutes rolls round, not just one more thing. Okay, 20 minutes rolls around, 30 minutes. The next minute, it's 30 minutes later. And that's not about the time. What it's about is mastering your ego. Your ego thinks you need it because it's getting fueled, or it's feeling good because it's getting instant gratitude in the moment. But what happens if you set that state for the day that it is in charge and you don't keep to your word and you don't set those boundaries for yourself? Guess what happens in relationship, life, and businesses? You don't set clear boundaries, you don't hold clear boundaries even if you do set them, and you don't honor, if you're not honoring your own boundaries, people aren't going to honor your boundaries. So that's something I noticed when I started to do that in the morning. My business revolutionized, my life revolutionized, that word, and my health revolutionized as well, because I did what I said I was going to do from the very first moment in the morning. It is hard because I created some unhealthy habits about staying on there too long, because I put too much weight on the impact that I was creating there. It was like a significance thing. I can help this and I can help that, and the longer I'm in here, the more I can do, the more people I'm connecting with, and I can help people and this and that. It's a softener. It's a story. What matters is me standing in my truth and presence, me showing up, me doing what I said I was going to do, and there is a variation on that. Sometimes you're going to decide in that moment. So you've got to have the discipline and be aware of it. Everything has an exception. So what can happen is, okay, this is really important. It's a priority. I need to get my second edition of my book. I'm going to tell you all again, second edition's coming out. That needs to be a priority, because I've got an event 3rd of November. If anybody comes, Renee, if you're watching, can you put the details in below for the event on the 3rd of November? I want you all there. We're expecting 400 people. It's going to be a massive event. Myself and Renee Hargraves are speaking. They've got a wrap up. But anyway, look up the event. It's incredible. And now I can't remember what I was telling you about. So this is the thing. You've got to have the discipline, but you've also got to know if it's a priority. So they want a couple of hundred copies of my books. I also have events in Toowoomba. They want a couple of hundred copies of my books. So if I don't get this new delivery in time, people are missing out. I'm missing out. And it's a little bit of a disaster, first world disaster. So I thought to myself, I've allocated myself 15 minutes to follow it up, pay the bills, speak to the printer, speak to the publisher, speak to the editor, all that sort of stuff. 15 minutes rolled around or 30 minutes rolled around, and I hadn't completed it and I hadn't done it. So did I go, that's 30 minutes and I've got to stick to my rules and that's it, and move on? I was like, no, I was present and I made a conscious choice in that moment that this is a priority and I need to do it now, and I've got to allocate a little bit more time to this right now because it's important and I need to get it done. So discipline, but also awareness that you can change it if the priority is like quite a high, has quite a weight on it. So the other thing I've got to watch the time because I've got another call at 2:30. Woo-woo. The other thing, I've got a call with, I think, Eric at 3:30. He is coming to an event to speak for me on Wednesday, this coming Wednesday at Chapters. So I'll be back on it live at 3:30, which is a bit exciting. So the other thing that we want to talk about is multitasking versus habit stacking. Has anyone heard of habit stacking before? Guys, I'm looking over here because I've got iPads and computers set up everywhere. I'm talking lots of different places live, so I'm not going crazy like talking over here. Habit stacking, has anyone heard of it? I read an amazing article on it like literally a week ago. It was in the Natural Transformer program that I'm doing to help me get super fit and extraordinary. It was just this thing on habit stacking, and I always thought to myself, multitasking just doesn't work because I'm too all over the shop and I don't do anything properly. And if you get a copy of my book, it's in there. It's talking about multitasking and how we think it's efficient and effective, but just gives you some examples, some really real, solid, real-time examples of how it is not at all very effective at all. So what we want to do is habit stack. So instead of, Trishy says TNT, yeah baby, what we want to do is habit stack. So you're going to look at your day and you're going to chunk it down into different time frames and you're going to habit stack. So here's an example of how I do that. People say to me, Di, how do you stay so fit? 2 kids, you've written a book, you're all over the place, you're doing national tour, Gus is away a lot of the time. Firstly, it's a priority to me, and I was speaking to Renee yesterday, and another amazing coach in the Brisbane area, Gold Coast actually. If anyone's down there, look her up. I was saying, I get up and speak, and I felt like I was fit enough and healthy enough, but after Tony Robbins gave us the talk on being outstanding and being extraordinary, I was like, oh, this is my room for growth. I've got myself into a comfort zone, which is good enough and probably a little above average, but I want outstanding for my life. I want to be the example of extraordinary and amazing. And can I do that from being just above average? No, I can't. So I softened it and said, oh, it's good enough. But in depths with me, I was like, no, I want more than that. I really want to inspire from the deepest part of my being. So what I did was I found the people with a physique that is outstanding and that I admire, and I take mentorship from them. So I've changed my morning routine. I've really committed to that part of my growth, and getting that done, I habit stack. So what I do is I go in the morning, I wake up, I chunk down my day, I have the routine, and I can help you do this. You can come in for a one-on-one. Actually, you probably can't because I've got no spots left. I need to get this one-to-many. So what I can do, I'll sort something out for you. So you need to habit stack. Listen to this. It's going to change your life, okay? So you have all these things that you want to do. Chunk down your day into groups of time. I wake up, I do my morning routine, I have my multivitamins, and you don't want to think about what you've got to do next because that takes energy. And if you want to get a lot done and you're thinking about every little step of the way, it's exhausting. If you just have to think about the first thing that you do and then it's a roll-on effect to everything else, it's so much easier to make that transition into progressing and getting things done. So here's the example I want to use with you. I do my stuff in the morning, have my multivitamins, and it's like a well-oiled machine that goes like this. Hasn't always been like that. I'm still sort of mastering it. But something I decided, I didn't know there was a name for it. I do school drop-off, and I looked at my life and I go, what do I want? What do I value? What do I need to be doing with my body? So every single day, what I do is I allocate time for the gym straight after drop-off. So this is an example of habit stacking. So after I do drop off, I noticed that was a bit of a, what's that word? Like a bit of a blurry zone. I didn't have anything intentionally set, and I caught myself just kind of wandering around, which is fine too. You can wander, but you don't want to wander your whole life because you just don't get anywhere, or you go places but you go the long way, and that's going to happen. But I wanted to be direct. I wanted to be able to call into the physical realm the things that I wanted to call in, and I wanted to do it yesterday. So I was like, okay, that's going to take some habits. That's going to take some commitment. So anyway, I looked at my life. There was blurriness there. There was a bit of wandering. And I thought, okay, I'm going to habit stack. What's my values? What do I want? What would be really ignite me and light me up at that time of the day? Okay, I want to work out, and I hadn't been working out. So I do school drop off, and without thinking, I go straight to the gym. So then I don't have time to go, oh, I'm tired, which happens. I feel really sore, which happens. Oh, I've had a fight with my husband, which doesn't happen that often, but it does happen every now and again. Or I'm feeling really emotional, like, story. Regardless of how I'm feeling, I go there and I get there, and then I reassess. What does my body need today? Resourceful questions. Oh my gosh, I'm actually feeling really tired. I've been training really hard. I'm working really hard. I'm going to stretch, or I'm going to listen to music, or I'm going to spend 40 minutes doing something that I need to do. I go for walks, watch the magpies. I will do yoga. I'll listen to music. But most of the time I get there, and before I even think about it, I'm in the middle of a weights session. Do I just not want to do this because I'm tired, or I'm feeling a bit lazy? So you really got to honor how you feel. But talking about habit stacking and rewinding a little bit, what will happen, right, is on the way to the gym, because my personal development is really important to me, I do my tapping. I've set a trigger point on the way to the gym every single morning that when I see something, it's a trigger for me to start doing my tapping. So without even realizing, I don't think, oh, I've got to do my tapping now. What I do is I've anchored it. So straight away I see this sign, or it's actually across the town bridge. So if you see me crossing the town bridge, you know I'll probably be going like this. I automatically go into what's a fear or an unresourceful feeling that I've been feeling recently, or a conversation I have to have with somebody that's awkward, or I'm up leveling in something, and I feel it in all of my body, and then I just start tapping. Because if I had to make time to sit down and do my tapping and do my reading and do all this personal development, and it had to be separated, it's just not going to happen. There is not enough hours in the day. So what I did was, I literally laughed to see Dan, it's not just me. Yeah, so I'm going across the bridge, I'm doing my tapping, it's amazing, it's habit stacked. Most days I do it. There might be some days that I don't do it, or I think I don't do it, because it's like cleaning your teeth. Who remembers cleaning their teeth this morning? Take a second to see if you can remember cleaning your teeth, or doing your seatbelt up when you get in the car. Can anyone remember that? And what shoe do you put on first? It's the same every single day. So first of all, if you're watching now or later, tell me right now, who remembers cleaning their teeth this morning? Right now. Answer me. Engage, people. Secondly, who actually remembers the action of putting their seatbelt on when they drove somewhere today? And third of all, which shoe did you put on first? Tell me, Dan, you know you do the personal development. You put the same shoe on the same foot every single freaking morning, and 98% of us don't know it because it's in your subconscious and you do it all the time. So if we can make our habits of success, whatever that is to you, like putting your left shoe on and it just happens, or cleaning your teeth, because I can probably guarantee you don't remember cleaning your teeth or putting your seatbelt on, but you actually did it this morning, and you actually do it every single day. It just gets done. You don't have to think about it. So what we've got to do is design our life so the things that matter to us, like cleaning our teeth, because we've been conditioned, most of us, not all of us, from a young age, that this is important and this is the way you do it and this is the time that you do it. So it is now my mission to teach you that this heart is important. What's going on up here is important. And when we combine all of it together, you can literally blow your life into this amazingness of all the things that you desire and you want. You can master your state. So another example of that habit stacking is like, as I'm driving to the gym, I'll do my tapping, so that gets done every single morning. I love music. The other thing I do is I always want to sit in some sort of stillness and quiet time every single day. So as I'm driving here, I want you all to answer this question. Do you listen to the radio? Are you choosing mindfully what you listen to? Because I was going to an event the other day, it was yesterday morning, and I was speaking for 20 minutes on a topic, and I put an audio book on as I was playing, and I caught myself, and that's the habit I've got into, is audiobook. And I caught myself and go, hold on a second, what do I need right now? I've habit stacked putting an audiobook on, because in a generalization, that to me is what successful people do and what healthy people do, and a habit that I chose. So I just got on there and it happened straight away. But what I then caught myself doing is, this what I need right now? I'm going to an event, I've got to be in a certain state, and the audiobook isn't doing it for me. It's not putting me in that state. I like to connect in. So as I'm driving to an event, another habit stack, as I drive to the event, because I have to drive there, I don't want to make more time for it in the day, I connect into my higher self. I then connect into every single person's higher self at that event. I say all my affirmations, all my incantations, and I connect in with the little girl inside of me, and I do all this energy work, and I sit in stillness, and I do my breathing, and I can drive to the event, and by the time I get there, I'm pumped, primed, and ready to go. So another example of habit stacking, and how you can do that in your life to get... So, because this is the thing, it's not the huge, massive things that we're doing every now and again that makes the biggest change in our life. What it is these 2 millimeter little pivots all the time. What you choose to do, this was the lesson. I take Esme to the gym on Wednesdays. My little girl, she's 5, and we always have a lesson. And the lesson for her the other day, and me and all of you, because I'm sharing it with you, is what really matters is what you, especially with the world of social media, is what you choose to do or not do when nobody is watching. I'll just let that land. What really matters is what you choose to do or not do when nobody is watching. So here I am having this conversation with my 5-year-old. You could imagine it. Hey, she's just like, yeah, mum, whatever, whatevs. I just want to play and clap hands, and you can pick me up and do your ab work. And she knows after a certain exercise, because I'm putting it into them young, injecting into their young. After I do the squats and the lunges and that, I pick her up and put her upside down. So it's like a trigger. She gets to play. I get to do my workout. She sits and she waits there for that moment where she gets to have fun. And yeah, so you can do that for yourself. You can do it for your kids. So yeah, that's covered a lot today. I've nearly been gas bagging here for an hour. I hope it's been really helpful and very succinct, so you can just take out what works for you. What do they say? Chew the meat and spit the bones. Take out what works for you. Get rid of all the rest. Just stick it into the subconscious. And this is what I want to share with you before I go. I'm going to do a completely another live on it, but it changed my life last night as I was listening to the audiobook on the way home from the coast. So what happens with our subconscious? You've all seen my to-do list, have you? I don't think I've got one here to show you. It's called a Get To-Do list. So it's branded as me, and it's beautiful and pink and amazing. It's the Get To-Do list, and I get so much feedback from it because it's changing in the subconscious mind that you have to do something on the to-do list till you get to do it, like having gratitude for all these amazing things and experiences that we get to do. So that took it deeper for me last night because, actually, this is relevant to this call, I have to tell you. So the other thing that I do, some of you are going to think I'm crazy, other of you are just going to say, thank you so much, you've changed my life. There's always the polar opposite. I get to do things and I put them on a list, and then I realized I was telling people I take all these dreams, the book, the big things, the ring, the jewelry, the card. Renee, this is the card I was telling you about yesterday. The pixie cards in the community, each woman's writing their own blurb and I'm getting them drawn in pixie form. It's incredible. And I take all the hard stuff, all the stuff that I used to push and strive and force, and I take all that stuff and I go, angels, sort it out for me. Creator, God, source, whatever your belief is outside of yourself. I hand it up to them and just let them take care of it. Release the attachment to the outcome, and there you go. It works amazingly. What I heard yesterday was to do a to-do list for universe, source, creator, God. So I get my to-do list. I have another to-do list for, so I'll just call it creator, because everybody's have their own belief around that. And I hand it, or angels, that's what I call it. I like the angels. Yeah, so I hand it to the angels. Here's your get to-do list, ladies and gents. Thank you so much for so much gratitude for what you've already helped me call into the physical realm. Thank you so much. And here's another bunch of stuff that I need you to call in for me. Okay, awesome, let's do that. The other thing, you guys might have already heard this, and I think I'd heard it, but it just didn't land. Your subconscious doesn't sleep. So before you go to sleep at night, you demand your subconscious to go out and you direct it to what you want it to do. Otherwise, it just goes off and does all sorts of willy-nilly things that you're not sort of directing. It's a bit like a man, right? If you need a man to do something for you, don't beat around the bush. Just tell him straight up, tell him what you need, and they'll make it happen. If you're beating around the bush and you're fluffy and you're emotional, they're not going to get it. Same with your subconscious mind. You just have to be so direct and so clear. So now, before I go to, I only learned this yesterday, I did it last night, I said, subconscious mind, while I'm asleep, and I know you don't sleep, can you, actually, didn't even say can you please, I was like, it is your role and your job tonight to go out and get this, and this, and bring it to me tomorrow when I need it. So let's use a sales letter, for example. That's what they used in the book that I was reading. You sit down to write your sales letter, and you're like, oh, hold on, I've got to get into state, do my star jumps or something, and then it's like you sit down, and all of a sudden, you get the idea. It's because the old grey matter has gone out in the quantum physics world and pulled in all this subconscious stuff you've heard, seen, felt over not just this lifetime. People, depending on your belief, you really think I'm crazy now. I'm actually a past life regression therapist as well, if anyone's interested in that. Past lives, what you've heard, seen, experienced, traumas, celebrations, families, whatever's happened, it just pulls in all this information from all the realms and all the galaxies and all the universes, because we're energy and it's endless and it's boundless and it's got no containers on it. It's absolutely incredible. So yeah, I said subconscious, go out and do this, and I woke up this morning and then I had the ideas, I had the connections, and I was just like, that is amazing. So that, guys, is also how to relax on the run. You literally, as I'm driving and I'm going through my to-do list after I've habit stacked and done my tapping and done this, and this needs to be done, this needs to be done. As I'm driving, I literally grab it all and I hand it to the angels and say, thank you for what you've done already, and help me out with the next thing. It sounds crazy, but it absolutely works. Depending on your belief system, what you're calling in, if you believe it, it will work, because a thought and an idea is a vibration. And in our humanness, really, I think, in my experience so far, our brain is so incredible, amazing, but our humanness really limits us to our full potential, because everything's linear, or we've been taught that everything is linear. Where you really expand and open your mind and realize this is a vibration and it's all connected, and we are all connected, and what you're putting out is what you're getting back, and we're all one. Your life will open up, abundance will flow in, you'll have amazing good health, your finances will skyrocket, your relationships that you'll cultivate will be nourishing and beautiful and connected. You're going to make an impact in the world, be doing what you want with people that you want, and you all have that power within you right now. What I've been able to do and accomplish, I'm no different to any of you. I feel like the difference for me right now is I have committed my life to learning the strategies, to absorbing the vibration, and to learning from people who have done it before me. So I listen, even from a young girl, 15 years old, I remember sitting there so shy and timid, watching speakers and not just listening to what they say. I would look around at the audience. I would look at how they would move their body, and I just totally absorb when they move their body this way. When they said that, how did everybody react? And I think there's no textbook that you can learn that from. It's a vibration, it's an energy thing. And when I get up and present in front of people, it's like it's not even me. It's just a different part of me. It's all parts of me up there, because you can't hide when you're up there in front of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1,000, 8,000 people. I've danced in front of 8,000 people at Tony Robbins last year. That was pretty epic. Handed that to the angels. I wanted to get on that stage, so I was like, angels, sort it out for me, and they did, which was pretty cool. Did the same thing this year, and at Date with Destiny, and got on the camera every single time. So that's how it works. Let me know, give me feedback. I see it's like this is cool. So Dan says, I met Dan and Renee yesterday, really cool story. Most amazing, lovely couple, and I'd seen them online and I'd connected with them online and I felt like I knew them, but I got to meet them in the flesh yesterday and they're even better in the flesh. I love it. He says, it's like you live in my mind and clarify what's going on. Amazing insights, Diane. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you. I can't wait to catch up. We're going to break the rules and take the girls and my kids to the beach one day. Never listen to the radio. Always enjoy listening to my own playlists on Spotify, so your drives are quite enjoyable. I love it. Dan loves audiobooks, but lately in the car has been a great place to do your incantations. Yeah, really good. Hey, yes, and there's a few over there. I still want to know who knows what shoe they put on first, because when I was asked that, I was like, oh my gosh, I do that every day and I don't know. Awesome. So yeah, hey Joe, hey Haley, Lisa, Gemma, Adam, Russ has jumped on, Trishy, yeah. All right, I'm going to go. I got my next thing in 8 minutes. Make every single minute count, whether you're choosing to relax and bliss out and spend time with the family, by yourself, or you're just in absolute, what's the word, like go get it mode. Love all parts of yourself, the perceived good, the perceived not so good. There's a positive and negative charge to everything in actuality, and quite often we're only pulling in one of them and we infatuate with something or we fear something else. But when we can block it out, it comes back to here, and then that leaves you to take on your life and each minute and each moment of your life from truth and presence. So that is me signing out after Monday live question and answers with Diane McKendrick. Actually, I have 7 minutes now, so is there any questions? Kelly, I know you had a few questions if you're still watching. Is there any questions you want to make most of the next 7 minutes that I can help anybody with before I go on to my next little part? Just give you a couple of minutes to see if any questions come through. Kelly knows her right shoe goes on first. That's pretty cool. And Dan's is left. Jessica, what shoe do you put on first? There's 2 Jessicas. Suze, what shoe goes on first? Pamela, Kelly. I love it. There's no questions coming through, so that's super cool. Thank you everybody for joining me. And just before I go, I'm going to let you know about the event on Wednesday. So we are having an event. Eric Balance is coming to speak as my guest speaker. It's at Chapters. We're going to have a glass of wine. It's an amazing night. Hopefully we'll have some live music there, which will be amazing. It's just a really solid night of community and connection, and supporting the community in the way that I know best to, which is just to bring everybody together, break down any barriers or judgment, and really just show up for each other. So we've got the Community Coffee Thursday, which I can't go to this week, up at Chapters. We have the event with Eric. You're going to love that man. He's going to be on around about 3:30, 4 o'clock with me to introduce himself and give a little bit of content and background on who he is and what he's going to speak about as my guest speaker at my event on Wednesday night. You've got the details of the event on the 3rd of November. We're going to drop a link down below so you can go and buy your tickets. Little sneak peek, if you get the VIP, you get a free book. I don't know if I'm supposed to tell people that yet, Jessica, but jump on there and they'll sell out. So you want to get your tickets straight away. Can you add the link down below, Jessica, because you probably got it nice and handy and close. People can go get your VIP ticket. There's a few other little goodies in there. It's at the Gold Coast on the 3rd of November, and I want to see you all there because it's going to be such a high energy, amazing night. So kudos to you, Jessica, for pulling all this together. A very deep thank you from my heart to including me in it and making space to me to come and speak as a guest speaker and putting my books in the goodie bags. Oh, you weren't on earlier. This is the pixie card I was telling you about yesterday. So I've had my head artist, Green, draw the community, each woman, and then they get to write their blurb. It's pretty amazing, dreams coming true. So, yeah, all right. I'm going to go see most of you Wednesday night, see some of you Friday or Saturday night at all the other events that we're attending. 2-day with Francesca, Thursday, Friday, Tony Robbins catch up, Saturday night, and I can't remember anything after that because I pretty much go 24 hours in advance. That's actually quite outstanding and outrageous that I remembered even any of that. All right, peeps. Mwah! Love yous.